And we welcome you into this Sunday afternoon edition of Greensboro College Women's Soccer on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Greensboro College Women's Soccer coming off of their first loss of the season, falling to Roanoke College on Friday night. 3-0 your final score in that one. Obviously a fairly quick turnaround as they get ready to try to make some adjustments and get ready for today's contest. Um, Good news is we talked to Shea Brennan yesterday. You'll hear her in the pregame show. Certainly, uh, we're concerned when she hobbled off on Friday night, but we've been told she's good to go for today, so that's always a fantastic thing. Obviously, we saw Barry in the game before on Friday, and they looked pretty good. Obviously, Meredith struggled a little bit at times against the Vikings, but I think one of the big things we saw that Barry, much like Roanoke did against Greensboro on Friday night, able to apply pressure on the goal. So I think a big thing for Greensboro today is trying to spend some more time on the offensive side of the pitch today. They did a decent job for the most part, I thought, defensively of trying to minimize Roanoke's opportunities on Friday night. But eventually you just kind of saw the defense get worn down, and Roanoke was able to take advantage late in the contest. So that is the premise with which we set up today's contest. Greensboro looking for their fourth win of 2025. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Johnston and Shea Brennan. We'll get you set for the beginning of today's game. It's Barry and Greensboro on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. Pride pregame show continuing as we get you set for kickoff today between Greensboro College and Berry College as we conclude the GC Classic tournament. I'm here with Shea Brennan, Coach Mike Johnston. Coach, first off, I know you put in a lot of effort to get this 4-team deal going on. Tell me a little bit about the weekend of the preparations for it.
Yeah, the challenge for us was, can we get teams that are going to make us better for conference? And I think we've done that. Obviously, Roanoke was a really good side, and we talked last night. We got to put that to bed really, really quickly and get ready for Barry. Barry's obviously a really good team. They beat Meredith last night 2-1, or I guess 2 nights ago 2-1. Great result, and I hope we're ready.
What did you guys see from Barry that you can take away and apply to yourselves today?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what we talked with Roanoke, right? I think soccer-wise, I think we're comparable. I think we may even have a little more team speed, but I think they're bigger all over the park. They're very physical, they're athletic. So I think we need to move the ball quick. We need to be ready for their physicality, and I think that's probably going to be the key to the game.
Bobby and I in the broadcast booth saw a lot of similarities between the way Roanoke played
in the way that Barry played yesterday. Did you guys notice that as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think that our team definitely needs to step up and match the physicality that we're seeing on the field. But I think we're definitely good enough to keep up with this team, and I'm excited to play them.
You guys had a chance to look at some of the tape from the Roanoke game. What did you see as far as things that went well, things that didn't go well?
Yeah. So first of all, like when you end on the wrong side of a loss, right? You always think it's way worse than it is, right? And then you realize you bottle it. It's one moment, can be a learning experience for you, and you move forward, right? So was actually watching the tape very late last night. I always like to watch the game the night it happens, just so everything's fresh in my head. And we did some nice things. We were just one pass away. We were one play away from connecting. A corner kick, we get in the right spot to defend it, and we just don't clear it. So little things like that we can clean up. We had a one-on-one to make it 1-1 to equal the game, and their goalkeeper made a fantastic save. So I think the challenge for us is, as we go on, is can we learn from those mistakes? Can we take advantage of those mistakes? And can we just be better in those critical moments?
Shay, with so many young players on this team, it's already evident as the team is starting to slowly get comfortable with each other. And, you've seen a couple passes where, hey, you know where they're going to be, and so you're putting it in the right spots. Tell me a little bit about this getting to know you phase, especially as you guys are trying to go out and win ball games.
I mean, I think we're definitely starting to gel together better. It's taking a little bit just because there's so many new faces on the field, but I think as we keep practicing and working together today, when we were practicing, we were just doing a pattern, and it looked really good, and I think we're starting to see how each other play, and it's getting better every day.
Coach, we talked a little bit prior to the Roanoke game about Cameron Marcondes and how she seemed to be knocking on the door of getting that first goal, and just so close again yesterday. You could see the frustration when she wasn't able to knock it home. How do you keep her staying positive and saying, hey, these opportunities are going to come, your goals are going to come, you just got to stick with it?
I think that's just the challenge, right? Soccer is a game where shooting is very common, finishing is not very common, right? And you have to learn how to finish. And I think it's just part of kind of playing a new role. So Cam was actually an attacking midfielder her whole career, club, high school level. We moved her up top. She's an elite college forward. So I think that for us, it's just continue to build her up, continue to put her in those moments, and realize that her moment's going to come. And I think, like we talked yesterday, is when it comes, I think the floodgates are going to open. But again, yesterday she's literally 2 inches away from tying that game. So I think we just continue to put her in those moments, tell her we love her, tell her we believe her, and I think she's going to be somebody we can rely on for the next 4 years.
I'll open in this one to both of you, and you know how this goes, Coach. We wrap this one up with keys to today's game. What's important to you both to win this game today?
I would say for this game, we really need to work on keeping the ball and just playing the game we know how to play, not panicking, and just overall staying calm and connecting with each other.
Yeah, I would say for me, I echo everything Shay just said, right? And we just actually told him yesterday at the end of training, like, hey, listen, quit thinking so much. Like, let's just play. They're all good players. They're here for a reason. We have a fantastic group. So let's just come out and play soccer, have fun with it. And I think if we get back to that, we'll be on the right side of it.
Greensboro College women's soccer looking to get back on the right foot today. We're just moments away from getting this game started. It's the Pride, it's the Vikings, and it's next on the Greensboro College Sports Network.
Well, if you were to write down what you said picture perfect early September weather would look like, I think the definition of that would be the last 3 days. We have been very fortunate with the weather we've had today, this weekend, and Greensboro College women's soccer looking to cap off what has been a beautiful weekend with a beautiful result today. Good afternoon again, everyone. Kendrick Fruits here with you from Greensboro College as we get set for Greensboro College women's soccer against Berry today. The Pride trying to bounce back from a 3-0 loss Friday night against Roanoke. Berry defeated Meredith 2-1. Why don't we take a look at the starting lineups for today's contest? First off, for the visiting Vikings, it's Hill and Gold and Connors, Creamy, Knight, Owen, Bryan, Crozier, Rodriguez, Strickland, Aitken, and Reese. And as for Greensboro, their lineup looks a little something like this. Hanson, Cole, Brennan, Tag, Linker, Petroskis, Taylor, Robinson, Dawson, Friedlander, and Marcondes. No Kendall Cam again today for the Pride. However, very glad to see Brennan in the lineup today following the injury scare on Friday night. Well, we're about ready to get this one underway. Possession will begin with Berry. Couple minutes past the top of the hour, and we are underway. Long feed up ahead by Rodriguez starts the afternoon. Teresa Rodriguez, the 6'2" senior for Land O'Lakes, Florida, or from Land O'Lakes, Florida. You'll notice the veteran leadership on this Berry team. You heard the starting lineups. Greensboro, all freshmen and sophomores. One of the freshmen, Dawson, has it taken away, but it goes back to Marcondes. Marcondes is tripped up and a foul called on Annie Connors, the junior from Atlanta. We are coming up on a minute in. I think one of the big keys for Greensboro today will be to spend more time in the offensive zone than they did on Friday against Roanoke. You saw the defense played well on Friday. They just kind of got worn down by the time the contest ended. We are joined by my producer and the director of sports information, Stephen Widenhouse, today, hanging out with us on the broadcast.
Good to be here. This is going to be a fun matchup for sure.
Stephen, we saw a lot of similarities between the way that Berry played. Here's a look here real quickly for Berry. It's going to be turned aside by Greensboro. But we saw a lot of similarities offensively between the Vikings and the Maroons on Friday. Both teams spent a lot of time in the offensive zone. Both teams put a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, I think one of the differences is Roanoke, they were – I mean, not only experienced, but, you know, they had some, you know, strong players. I mean, they played physical, not in a bad way. They were just physical, and they were bigger and stronger than Greensboro was. I don't think you're quite going to get that from Berry, just based on what we saw in their game against Meredith the other day. But they're a very skilled team. This is going to be a fun matchup. I think, you know, just talking with Coach Johnson a little bit, but really it's cool to be able to have watched them the other day, so you kind of have a better scouting report than we normally do against, you know, with an opposing team. And so it's a very skilled team. They got good speed. I don't think they're quite as strong as Roanoke was. So hopefully Greensboro comes in, you know, fresh legs after a day off, and I think this is going to be a really fun match.
You know, to me, coming into today, there were three really big storylines that I was interested in. First off, however, Mia Reese coming up with it, the left-hand side. We'll see if this develops for the Vikings. Nope, Greensboro's going to turn it away. The three storylines: one, could Greensboro generate more offensive pressure than they did on Friday? Storyline number two was, can Cheyenne Hansen bounce back after her first tough game in net? And three, although maybe a soft return on Friday, the return of Emily Walsh.
Yeah, you know, all three of those storylines are going to be big. You know, I just think for Greensboro, you know, we talk about it a little bit off air. I mean, I think not just today, but in the long run, just health is going to be so important. And here's the good thing. We've talked about it before. They've got depth. I think they have more depth than they had a year ago. But you still, you want to be as healthy as you can be going into conference play, which will, it's right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. It's great to see Shea Brennan back out here. Lila Shortle got some minutes the other night. I just think health is going to be the big thing. These freshmen are going to grow and learn as the season goes. And if this team can stay healthy, it's going to be that actually could be the key between a long run in the playoffs or not.
Well, not only staying healthy for conference play, but you have arguably your most important non-conference game on Wednesday this week against rival Guilford.
Sure, yeah, you definitely want to be healthy for that game. Last year, that was a physical battle. Good thing, it sets up this season where they get, Monday and Tuesday off before they get to play at home against Guilford. So, a couple days off, and then a home game is nice. But, yeah, certainly want to be as fresh as you can because, like you said, that's the biggest non-conference game of the year because it's such a big rivalry.
Sent back by Knight. Now ahead to Strickland. Back to Connors. Connors working her way up. Pass towards the corner. Can Strickland get to it? She does not. And it will be a goal kick here for Cheyenne Hansen.
And I think I didn't hear your pregame notes, but I think one of the biggest players for Barry is going to be Teresa Rodriguez.
Yep.
Seeing her play the other night, she's probably the biggest threat I think on the offensive side. She's so tall but strong as well. She's got a strong leg and certainly athletic. So play in the middle of the field. She's going to be a big key for Greensboro to stop today.
Yeah, certainly saw how dangerous she was on the service in the box. She had a header in on Friday. And I think it's important for Greensboro to really limit corner kick opportunities for Barry.
Yeah, for sure, especially with her height. That's an advantage. Now, Greensboro could match up, in a corner kick situation like that with somebody like Shea Brennan, but nobody has Rodriguez's height.
It's hard to beat to match up with 6'2".
She's listed, at
3.
6'2". We do not have any 6'2" players, but we'll have to maybe that's something that you say, hey, look, we've got to double team her in the box whenever there's a corner kick opportunity because she's going to be tough to stop. So limiting those opportunities will be important too.
Almost wonder too if in a certain crucial moment of the game, if that is a situation where Coach Johnston has to maybe go with height, and maybe you see someone like an Audrey Edwards come in and just say, hey, we literally just need you to body up against her.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming up on 7 minutes in, neither team has a shot yet, and the one negative thing, Steven, so far that I'm seeing is once again Greensboro is spending almost the entirety in the defensive side.
Yeah, it's been a struggle, last game, and then early on here, of course, it's early, but that's the thing. We know Barry's.
Here's a look here, and Hansen's going to come out and snag it. It was a little chip pass over to, I believe that was Strickland, number 25.
Yeah.
But Hansen went out and got it.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if Greensboro can make some adjustments. And I know it's been a storyline this season, but, connecting on passes, getting the ball down the field from Greensboro's standpoint. We saw last game against Roanoke, a lot of just kind of disconnected opportunities where, Greensboro had the ball. The idea was there, the pass up ahead idea was there, but then just didn't connect. The ball would just go, fly out of bounds or not really be close to the target. So they're going to have to connect on passes. They're going to have to control time of possession more today because let's be honest, like that defense is, we can't continue to wear our defense down, with the other team having possession, 80% of the time it seemed like against Roanoke. So Greensboro is going to have to possess the ball well today, going to have to connect on some passes, and then ultimately, in soccer, when you get those opportunities, you got to capitalize on your shots.
A free kick for the Pride here. They just missed on a pass a moment ago. Friedlander looked to the right for Marcondes, and Marcondes went left. Long service in, settled there by Friedlander. They're going to race for it towards the corner, far left corner. It's going to go out of bounds.
Goal kick.
It's good to see Friedlander get up there. It's
yeah,
kind of
for
a hard hit, or hard fall, rather, but looks no worse for wear.
Yeah, she's been huge, being healthy this year. She's made a big difference there in the midfield. Her, control of the ball and as well as her ability to pass has been impressive this year. Honestly, didn't get to see her play much last year, so getting to see, her skills on display has been fun.
Greensboro forced a turnover. Trinity Robinson trying to feed this that was Dawson trying to feed it to Marcondes. The pass goes wide. And here comes Barry up the other way, trying to string a couple of passes together. Long run up ahead. Good defense there by, I believe that was Cole, to push that out of bounds. Coming up on 10 minutes deep in this contest today. Pride looking to bounce back after their first loss of the season.
That last throw-in reminded me the other day, Kendrick, you were on the call with Bobby Welch, as there's an opportunity here for Barry.
Long feed up ahead, and Hanson picks up the short hop. Looked like a first baseman there. Scooping that one out.
That first half against Meredith, there had to have been at least 30 throw-ins. I mean, there was so many throw-ins in that game. We were joking about it over in the press box there. But, hopefully we won't have as many throw-ins today because that was pretty wild.
You don't often hear a soccer player wake up the next morning and say, man, my shoulder is sore. Throw in here, though, for Barry. So they're clearly not listening to you early.
Yeah, well, never mind.
Good defense over there in the corner by Greensboro, forcing a turnover.
Turned it right back over.
Yep, sure did. And again, spending all this time playing defense.
Yeah, and just another small situation there where there's just a disconnect, regarding to, who they're going to pass and where they're passing the ball to. I think Edwards kind of ran, because they were so close, she kind of ran back, and Petroskas was going to pass it back to her, but Audrey wasn't there, so it went back out of bounds. There's a nice pass, though. Dawson.
Good move there, getting around her defender, Connors. Passes this one across. Another nice move over there. That's Mackenzie Taylor. She sends this on up ahead, and it's going to go over the line for a goal kick. Kate Hill in goal today for Barry. She had the start against Meredith the other day. Had a strong outing. This one sent on up ahead. Greensboro's Friedlander with it, trying to work it to a teammate. Instead, it comes back to her, now to Marcondes. I don't know how many more days we can keep saying, man, she's due. Any day now, that shot is going to find the back of the net for Marcondes, but a turnover here. Greensboro gets it right back at the center line. It's Cole. Cole comes near side to Dawson. Dawson trying to work the wing. Now gives it to Linker. Drops it back for Brennan. Brennan feeds this one up ahead. Pass kind of to nobody, but Marcondes ends up with it, trying to settle it. Marcondes trying to work around a couple defenders. And we'll pass it instead to Friedlander, who kind of whiffed on the shot. Didn't get everything she wanted. There's a collision between Marcondes and Hill, both of them slowly getting up.
Yeah, definitely unintentional there. The ball was not quite in the goalie's hands, and Marcondes went to kick it, and Hill ended up with it, but both kind of shaken up. But they're both back up. And
another turnover forced here by Brennan, but she's tripped up and can't quite get to the ball. Hill, by the way, played the first half, did not make a single save because she was not challenged.
Yeah, Meredith had one shot off a corner kick, and
it
was their goal. So, despite the score, it was 2-1, but if you watch the game, it was a pretty one-sided affair.
Thrown in here, Rosie Tagg. Shielding Nicole Knight. This one sent on ahead to Marcondes, headed away. And Marcondes sends it back towards Greensboro's back line. It's Cole now going far side to Tagg. Check that. That's who was that over there on the far side? I believe it's Petroskas over there.
Yeah, Petroskas. Yeah, encouraging though the last couple minutes for Greensboro, being able to possess the ball a little better and kind of keeping pressure off their defense.
Yeah, they've graduated from playing their own third to the middle third now.
We're getting there.
Slowly but surely. Rodriguez passes this one to Strickland in the center. Sends that back to Owen. And Matty Owen will fire it out of bounds. Greensboro to throw in. Coming up on 15 minutes deep into this first half. Throw in for Barry. Greensboro was arguing it was their throw in, but we play on with Dawson intercepting that pass. She better be careful. She's got somebody right behind her. Strickland there. Dawson able to get it back to tag. Greensboro survives for the moment. Long feed across to Petroskas.
Oh, contact.
And, yep, down she goes, and we're going to have a free kick here, I believe.
Yeah, unintentional for sure. I don't know if I would have necessarily called that, but it's all right. Greensboro gets the favor. I tell you what, these first 15 minutes, I'm impressed with Greensboro's defense. They've been able to really keep Barry, without any kind of real opportunity. Only one shot, and that shot was just kind of a slow roller to Cheyenne Hansen.
Kind of felt like a wasted free kick there right to Connors, and Greensboro couldn't get anything going. Here comes Nicole Knight racing to the end line, tries to keep it in. She does. Nice move around her defender, but Shea Brennan will try to kick it out of bounds. It goes right back to Knight. And now here's a shot to the left-hand side. Will miss wide. Looked like Kelsey Crozier there was just trying to do something quick. Element of surprise on her side, but she was off the mark.
Yeah, Crozier, she had a little opportunity there. She had a window, but with her momentum going to her right, she kind of overcorrected it and pulled it left.
Tag sends this up to Petroskas. Actually, that was Mackenzie Taylor over there. Now Petroskas feed up ahead looking for Robinson. Robinson's one-touch pass off the mark. And here comes Barry with it now.
Handball. As against Annie Connors, she tried to possess it, and the ball bounced up and hit her in the hand.
Greensboro wanting to work quickly here. Dawson to Brennan. Brennan
Nice
long
look.
feed up across, and again, the pass curling away from her intended target, and it's another takeaway. Shots go 2-1 in favor of Barry right now. Crozier sees it taken away. Now Greensboro's Marcondes with it. Little chip pass to Friedlander, got past her. Team's fighting for it. Right in front of Greensboro's back line. And it's going to be Strickland with it. Strickland's pass off of Linker. Both teams kind of turning it over right around what's about the 30-yard line for football. Long shot in on Hansen. She knocks it down and gobbles it up before a rebound opportunity. I think after a rough game that like Cheyenne had on Friday, which again, not a terrible game, but not her best. But I think, you get your first save or two here, and it certainly helps kind of get you back into the swing of things.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, again, when you're talking about goalies, you also got to, a lot of times that's in connection with, the defense too.
Right.
But I tell you, I mean, Roanoke was very impressive. I know, you allow 3 goals, but it's a very good team. It's a quality team that's probably going to be in contention to win the ODAC this year. And so I think it's just a game that you kind of shake off and just move on.
So there's one Taylor Swift reference for you today.
Shake it off.
Because I know you're such a big fan. Long shot
For
again
sure.
to Hansen. She's going to make the save on the far post.
You invited to the wedding?
No.
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 All right.
I don't think I would attend, and it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. I have no problem with her, but as a Raiders fan, I can't stand
That's
Travis
true.
Kelce. Hill with it back in the box for Barry. One thing I've noticed about Barry so far that they've done better than Greensboro in the early going as this pass is turned over, but the Vikings have done a better job being able to connect on some stretch passes. Substitutions here for Greensboro, and that, I believe, is
Senzata.
Yep, Senzata comes in. Checking out, I believe, is that Mackenzie Taylor over there?
Yeah, Senzata started most games this year for Greensboro on the defensive line. Taylor got the start today, but Senzata in fairly early, about 19 minutes into the game. So let's see if Senzata can kind of give some fresh energy to that defense that's been worked a little bit here the last 5 minutes.
Well, you look at her numbers this year. Senzata's lowest minutes total in a game is 39:44, so you knew she was going to get some quality playing time today.
Yeah, just another disconnect there. Brennan trying to go up ahead to Dawson, but out of bounds, so Dawson's going to throw it in here. No, now it's going to be Shea Brennan.
In the early going this year, and as this one headed to Robinson,
very
see
nice.
what Trinity Robinson can do. She's got to work around two defenders. She now tries to split the gap. It's curled off towards the near left flag, and it's going to be turned the other way. But, one of the things about Dawson, obviously, Shea Brennan's still here, and she's going to do the excellent things that Shea Brennan does. Dawson reminds me a little bit of Brennan last year in the sense of she can be an offensive-minded defender with 3 assists already this year, including the 2 at Avery, and so I love what she's able to do on the offensive side in terms of finding the open teammate.
Yeah, well, she had 2 assists against Avery, and she is kind of one of those players that we saw Shea last year can really play the entire field. Well, I think Dawson can as well. So if you have 2 versatile players like that on your defensive line, that's pretty good.
Long feed up ahead for Barry. Settled there by Strickland. Now over across to teammate Goolsby. Peyton Goolsby.
Uh-oh.
The rebound, or the redirect rather, by Strickland, and that's a good save there by Hanson. Good job not falling for the ricochet.
Yeah, if that ball goes anywhere else, it's probably a goal.
Greensboro trying to push the issue now the other way. Here comes Marcondes with it on the left. Marcondes pass to the middle. It's Robinson and taken away.
Yeah, so Barry, these last 7-8 minutes, they've started to get some more offensive opportunities, and there's going to be a foul on number 4.
That's going to be Linker.
Linker,
The interesting thing, it felt like in Greensboro's game Friday, the officials let them play through a lot of contact, and so far today they look ready to blow the whistle.
Yeah,
Here's an opportunity here for Nicole Knight trying to work to the right and get around Rosie Tagg. Rosie Tagg, however, will play strong defense and take it away.
Yeah, every officiating crew is going to be different, that's for sure, in soccer, and really every sport. But, it's interesting. You got to kind of feel out the referees as well as the game goes on and how much contact they're going to allow.
Dawson working from the near boundary towards the middle of the pitch. She goes to Friedlander. Friedlander to Marcondes. Marcondes was looking to send it up to Senzata, but the pass a little errant. And Senzata can only knock it out of bounds at the Barry bench. We are 15 seconds away from halfway through the first half. That goes out of bounds over the end line.
Coach Johnston standing up, and usually when he's standing up, he's not happy with at least something that the Pride are doing or not doing. As Allison Mann now comes in, so now 2 defensive subs. Shea Brennan, of course, we talked about with a little bit of an ankle injury, she's going to get a rest, and she's actually hobbling off the field now too. So it's actually probably she's going to actually take a seat against the fence. So that's not a good sign, that's for sure.
I also wouldn't be surprised if she may be done for the day simply because, like we said, you got to get out of this weekend healthy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got Guilford Wednesday, but even more important, you got conference games coming up.
Big cut here for Knight. She works her way on goal, and a good sliding save by Hanson. Hanson dives to her right.
Well, Cheyenne has been busy, that's for sure. She has 5 saves already and a nice diving effort there. We've talked with Coach Johnson, before even the preseason started. He was really high on Cheyenne and Griffin Horn, who unfortunately hadn't gotten to play yet because of injury in goal. But 2 freshman keepers that he's been really excited about, and Cheyenne has been really good.
Both men's and women's soccer this year with new goalkeepers, and both of them have been as good as advertised.
Yeah, men's soccer got a nice win yesterday against Mid-Atlantic Christian on the road.
Yeah, 11 goals, not too
Yeah,
shabby.
not too bad. So a nice little win after a loss to Averett earlier last week. So good bounce back.
Marcondes working ahead to Robinson. Oh, nice footwork there from Robinson, but she's not able to hang on to possession. It goes out of bounds.
Yeah, so Trinity Robinson, funny, kind of the way her season's gone, mainly came off the bench until, a couple games ago where she scored the game-winning goal and against Johnson and Wells. And in the last two games, including today, she's been a starter. So she's been a big help this year as a transfer from Guilford.
Yeah, she set a career high with 59 minutes played on Friday night.
Throw it on the far side. Looks like Greensboro is going to take the ball back. See, missed kick intended, I believe, for Dawson on this side, but Barry's going to take it right back over.
Both teams been turning it over in that middle third. Goes out of bounds. And
another sub
here. Out goes Friedlander. And I believe that's Lush coming in.
Yeah, Abby Lush in. Claire Friedlander gets a breather for the rest of the half. That's going to go out of bounds. But, again, you talk about, the depth. Like, Abby Lush comes out, with fresh legs, and she is fast. Her and Trinity Robinson, arguably the fastest on the team. And hopefully that speed can kind of make a difference here these last 20 minutes of the half.
Robinson passes over the middle to Sanzata. Coming across to Dawson, but it's going to be taken away instead by Barry.
One of the cool things about Trinity Robinson and Lush is that they played together, in high school, and they have that chemistry, already there. So, of course, Robinson, went to Guilford for a year and transferred back in, but really cool to see old teammates reunite.
Feed up the middle to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the left-hand shot high and scores.
What a kick.
Well, Cheyenne Hansen gave it a good effort. Unfortunately, that shot just a little bit too far out of her reach. And that goal from Teresa Rodriguez will give the Vikings a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's what, we saw against Meredith, and I'm sure Barry fans have seen all year. And I actually got to talk a little bit with assistant coach Jake Papier yesterday. And she was the one that stood out the other day. She's really talented and got a big leg. And you can see that was from about, 15, 20 yards out?
Yeah.
That was a strong. And then, right over the head. Cheyenne really couldn't do anything about that. That was perfectly placed in the upper left corner.
Second career goal for Rodriguez. Her first came just recently. So that goal coming.
You said that was her second goal of the year?
Second of the year, second of her career. Yep.
That's a little surprising. I'm kind of surprised she's only scored that many. She's a good player.
Only made a handful of starts last year. Greensboro trying to pull back to even. However, again, a turnover once they cross the center line. And again, here come the Vikings. Fed on up ahead to Strickland. Strickland getting past man. They have another opportunity. Greensboro's finally going to get there. Defender Tag able to clear it, and it goes out of bounds.
The one thing that, these tough non-conference games do for Greensboro is that it builds character, right? And obviously, certainly this game's not over by any means, but, being able to play these really good non-conference teams is going to set you up well for conference play. Talk about some of the tougher teams that are going to be in conference. Talk about Southern Virginia, who should be strong. Methodist should be strong as well. Brevard, they won the regular season last year, so they should be tough. So these non-conference games, I think, for Greensboro are going to, at the very least, get them ready for, those tougher USA South opponents.
Connors with it. She feeds it on up ahead. Greensboro going to clear again. Goes out of bounds just in front of our position. Under 17 to go first half. Berry to throw it in. Shots 7-1. At least for Greensboro, they were able to pick up their first shot much quicker than they did on Friday.
That is for sure. Struggled to get some shots last game. Of course, these last 10 minutes have been kind of tough. But earlier in this half, you saw, opportunities at least, being created. It always, didn't end up happening. But Greensboro's just going to have to, pick it up right here.
Should mention Jenna Elliott has checked into the game as well.
Ashley McElwain right here on our side. She's in. She played a lot of minutes against Roanoke, a transfer. Yeah, I think as Coach Johnson, and his coaching staff, just going to have to try to find the right combination here. You've got a mix of young players and experienced players, even on the field right now with, McElwain is out there, Allison May is out there, Lush is out there, Trinity's out there, but you also got, the freshmen, mixed in there. So just going to have to find the right combination. Got to throw in here deep in Berry's territory.
Chance for Sanzata if she can settle it. She tries to poke it further down, but it's going to go out of bounds off of the left foot.
All right, so now here's the first corner opportunity. Yep. Greensboro, against a good Berry team, opportunities are probably going to be limited. So this is a big chance right here. I think it's McElwain.
It is. She's been the corner specialist for Greensboro
on the far
year.
side. She's going to get a corner kick here. So let's see if Greensboro can capitalize and tie this thing.
Service from McElwain sends it into the box. It's headed away, and Petroska's going to chase it down. It goes out of bounds.
So not quite the opportunity they wanted, but still got the ball here on a throw-in deep in Berry territory.
Throw-in gets sent back out, heading towards the far boundary, and again it'll be a Greensboro throw-in. They maintain possession. Throw-in towards the far boundary. It's Elliott now to Petroskis, and a turnover. Rodriguez trying to head it towards a teammate does. And again out of bounds, and will stay with Greensboro. Looking over on the Greensboro sideline, Brennan looks like she's in no hurry to get back into this game, obviously. And again, we said maybe the Pride will elect to be careful with her coming forward with Guilford coming up this week. Would not be surprised if she is for sure done with the first half. Greensboro with a turnover in short range, sent on up ahead and turned aside. That was Maddie Owen defending. A throw in for Berry. Fed on over to Crozier. And a turnover again. Man to McElwain right in front of us. McElwain gets around one defender, but cannot get around her a second time. That's Strickland taking it away. Strickland to Rodriguez in the middle. And Linker gets in the way of that pass to Cole. Cole trying to settle it, and while she does, Rodriguez takes it back away. Kind of a lax moment for Greensboro. It'll be a foot race that Cheyenne Hansen will come out and end as she comes and retrieves the ball. 13 minutes to go first half. We're kind of in that lull, Stephen, if you will, of a lot of back and forth. One team passing it directly to another.
Yeah, just one of those times during a soccer game you kind of get in a lull, but got to get some subs now here for Greensboro.
Grace Garrity coming in for Linker. I see
Audrey Edwards.
Audrey is in for Cole. Audrey's been getting some decent minutes here recently.
Yeah, she played a lot last year, did well, and she's played well again this year. One of the things that Greensboro brought in, they did bring in a lot of strong defensive freshmen this year, so there's a lot of depth defensively for Greensboro, and Edwards almost flips over the back of, might have been,
was that 20?
Ramsey?
Yeah. She's going to get called for the foul.
But it's great to have, Allison May and Audrey Edwards, experience coming off the bench for for Greensboro's defense.
And the tough thing about somebody like Edwards, who played so much last year, that's a nice move there by Strickland, trying to get around a couple Greensboro defenders. I think one of the big things is, Edwards has seen her playing time go down considerably this year because of all those new freshmen that have come in. But we've talked to Coach Johnson, said she's just been the consummate teammate, and has said, hey, I'm here to get better and to help my team, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing to hear the other day, and Audrey certainly, one of the.
Almost a great takeaway by Elliott. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Fine.
That was almost a big moment.
No, Audrey is really awesome. She's great kid, great student athlete, and obviously she's still getting plenty of opportunity in the last couple of games for sure. And I think that's something that for the Greensboro staff, you kind of got to see what you have in your freshmen, and in game action. But you never know. I mean, it might come down to Allison Mann, as there's a shot by Rodriguez. It's going to
go to the right. Yeah. Hanson went out to save it, but it was going to be wide of the net anyways. I just have a feeling Audrey's got a big moment coming somewhere this year.
For sure. And I think, depending on how, these non-conference games play out, you may see Coach Johnson rely more on that experience from Mann and Edwards and say, let's go to the veterans and kind of, secure that defensive line. But still a lot of questions to be answered, I think, this year. It's still very early in the season, and just, being able to see everybody play, trying to find the right combination, and that's really what these non-conference games are about. Now, once you get into conference play, you hope to kind of have that, that lineup, or those, that depth chart, kind of straight. But, it's good to see here in the non-conference season get a lot of looks from different players.
Barry with it. We're under 10 minutes to go. Opportunity here with a pass on up ahead. Greensboro will turn it aside. That ball with some English on it. Petroskis can only send it out of bounds. .9:30 to play. Substitutions here for Barry. Shots go 8-1. Shots on goal go 7-1. Vikings with it on the far side, trying to work their way into the center of the field. There's Regal with it. And Barry will reset. Almost taken away by Elliott there. Was sprinting towards the ball, and the Barry defender didn't realize it, or defenseman didn't realize it. Headed by Mann, was looking for McElwain. McElwain tries to send it back to Mann. Instead, it's turned over. Well, I say it is, but Marcondes heads up there, getting to it. She sends it back to Allison Mann and out of harm's way. Mann splitting a couple defenders. She's pushing the issue up the pitch. Nice. She's got help here to Elliott. Elliott's going to have to go chase it down at the near left flag. She does, tries to send it off her defender, now fires this in out of bounds off of the back corner of the net.
Impressive there by Mann. She just ran by everybody, got to about the 40-yard line here and passed it up to Elliott, but impressive there from the senior.
So Hill has saved her only shot so far. Hanson is 6 of 7. Goal kick from Hill is headed the other way by Greensboro. Regal, though, with it, and back and forth we go. It goes out of bounds. Thrown into Goolsby. And here come the Vikings again until Greensboro again intercepts the pass. It's Marcondes. Well, we've talked about Marcondes being really close to making an impact on offense. Her defense here in the last couple minutes has been on display as well.
Yeah, she's a scrappy player. She's everywhere on the field. Certainly that time's going to come when she finally puts one in the net.
I think one of the big things about her that stands out to me, look at her minutes played, 75, 90, 77, 85, 80. I mean, that's 408 minutes already. She's leading the team.
And it doesn't look like she gets tired either. I'm sure she does, but it doesn't look like it because she's got energy the entire match.
And Petroskas is right behind her, so the top 2 minutes getters so far are freshmen this year. Obviously, now not counting your goalkeeper. 6:40 to play. This is an area of the game that concerns me a little bit. Greensboro's been bit by giving up a late goal late in the first half, and they kind of go into the locker room a little bit more deflated. So I think it's very important that you keep Barry off the board for this final 6:30.
Yeah, it's what Barry did against Meredith. They scored that second goal and went ahead 2-0 at the half. And even if they are up 1-0, it's momentum. But if they were to go up 2-0 going into the half, it is really deflating if you're Greensboro.
Connors to throw it in.
Substitution for Barry.
And that's going to be number 7, Gianna Mamon. Connors throw in. McElwain sends it back up the boundary and almost stayed in. But instead, Connors throwing in from almost the exact same location to Engelbert. Engelbert trying to get around McElwain, who has proven to be a wall here on the near side boundary. Nothing getting past McElwain. Headed away by Marcondes, and again out of bounds. Well, Barry is working it up the pitch on this sideline on throw-ins.
Yeah, they'll eventually get all the way down to the end of the – they're going to do it again.
Oh, my goodness. They started to our left, and now they're almost to the end line.
About to score a touchdown.
Saw a couple of those here yesterday.
And another one.
Oh, she took a couple steps further towards us. She went the wrong
went
way.
Backwards.
Thrown in towards the flag. Good turn there from Engelbert trying to get around her defender. That's McElwain. That's sent in on the side of the net. Hansen makes the stop. Obviously wasn't going to go in, but substitution here for Greensboro. Who's that going up? Petroskas went out. Number 20 is checked in. That's I just drew a blank. Lila.
Shortle.
Yeah, Shortle.
Lila Shortle getting some playing time. She got a little bit of playing time at the end of the Roanoke game coming off an injury. And, remember the other day, Coach Johnson said that she might be arguably our best defender.
Absolutely, yeah. Excited to see as she continues to get healthy what she can bring to the table or the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she good to see her back out there. Again, Greensboro's just kind of been battling some nagging injuries that don't help. But, again, you hope that kind of gets out of the way early in the season and everybody can be healthy come conference time.
Regal with it. The sent into Engelbert on the near side. Man trying to shield her. She does. We have a stoppage, and I think it's going to be a foul on Engelbert. Yeah, and obviously, I don't say this to say that Kendall Cam could have erased a 3-goal deficit all by herself necessarily against Roanoke, but you certainly wonder how different it would have been had she been healthy. Maybe Greensboro does generate a little bit more offensive pressure.
Well, yeah, I haven't even mentioned her yet, right? Being injured. Hopefully it will just be, today and, against Roanoke as well, and she'll be back against Guilford. And that's another big injury too. Her and Marcondes are kind of key players in the midfield along with Friedlander. So hopefully we'll get Kendall back soon.
Garrity feeds this one on up ahead. That pass intercepted. Regal with it. And McElwain watches it go out of bounds. Greensboro to throw in.
So about 2.5 minutes here. Let's see if Greensboro can put something together. Even if they don't score, just get some kind of momentum going into the half.
Lush taken down by her defender, but gets up first and is able to recover the ball. Now Garrity with it. She'll send it further back. Greensboro's not been able to get a whole lot of pressure because of the stifling defense of Barry in the middle third especially. Vikings force another turnover. 2 minutes to go. Shortle with the takeaway
Nice job by Shortle there.
to Garrity. Garrity back to Shortle on the far sideline. Now she's got to work around her defender. There's a push.
It's going to be on Shortle, but I think you can see, like, once we get healthy, if you get Shortle out there for longer minutes, that defensive back line with Shea, that's going to be – and Alex Dawson, that's going to be a really formidable defensive line.
Yeah, Rosie as well.
Yeah, Rosie.
You know, one of the things that we've been talking about this weekend is something Coach Johnston has said. He's like, look, the talent's undeniable. This one sent in onto the box. Opportunity here. A shot and a save by Hanson. It's off. Well, no, she saved it off of her hand. It did. It bounced off of Hanson into the net.
Yeah, she went up and
I think it went
off
hand
of her
to crossbar to net.
Yeah.
Goal by Regal makes it 2-0. That's what we talked about. You don't want to give up a goal in the final moments.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about, isn't it, Kendrick? Unfortunate there as you see the goal, and it is 2-0. Barry.
Yeah, certainly just Hanson got a piece of it, but not enough of it to stop the momentum. So for Regal this season, the senior from Parkland, Florida, Alexis with her first career goal. 45 seconds to play in the first half. Sent on up ahead for Barry. And again, Greensboro's got to figure out how to generate some offense. 30 seconds to go. Certainly will be part of the conversation at the half today. Elliott turns it over near side. Engelbert, 15 seconds left. They're fighting for it on the boundary. Lush takes it away. Fed up ahead by Caroline Creamy. I don't think they're going to have enough time to get a shot off. They will not. And so that will do it for the first half, as Barry has a 2-0 lead at the break. They've outshot the Pride 9-1. And once again, Greensboro spent most of the first half on their heels. They'll take a break. They'll talk it over, as will we when we come back on the Greensboro College Sports Network. time now to take a look at what else is going on around the USA South today. We'll also catch you up on some scores from yesterday as well, and anything that may have happened since the last time we talked to you on Friday. Not a whole lot of Sunday action today. Yesterday, Mary Baldwin defeated Eastern Mennonite 5-1. Brevard defeating Averett 1-0 yesterday. About to get underway in a moment, Berea at Salem, and then later Johnson and Wales taking on North Carolina Wesleyan. The way the standings line up in the conference right now, Brevard at the top at 4-0, Mary Baldwin 4-1, Greensboro 3-1-1. In fourth place, Methodist 1-0-2. Then you have Salem 2-1-2. North Carolina Wesleyan, William P. Southern Virginia, Meredith, and Pfeiffer rounded out. As far as what's coming up and what has recently gone final for Greensboro College, let's get you caught up on those scores. Yesterday, volleyball fell both to Lynchburg and Bridgewater, 2-3 to Lynchburg, 3-0 to Bridgewater. Men's soccer an 11-2 win against Mid-Atlantic Christian yesterday. Football, of course, fell to Roanoke, 32-22. Starting tomorrow, a two-day Gate City Invitational for men's golf here at Greensboro. FIFA Shankarn looking for his second win of the year. Then on the 17th, that's Wednesday, men's soccer at 4:30 against Columbia, women's soccer at 7 o'clock against Guilford. And then after a lengthy departure, volleyball back in action at home against Methodist for their second conference match of the year. Feels like it's already been quite some time since we have hosted volleyball, so we'll see them back in action on the 17th. Then on the 20th, it's volleyball against Meredith at 1 o'clock. Men's soccer at LaGrange at 4. Women's soccer at Region at 6. And then football on the road at Davidson. They fell to Tennessee Tech 72-13 yesterday, did Davidson. That's who Greensboro will take on Saturday. So we'll step aside. We'll take a look at first half numbers when we come back on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, you know, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, you know, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that like led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. And time now to take a look at your first half numbers. First off, we'll start with the team stats. Right now, obviously, your score 2-0 in favor of the visiting Berry Vikings. Shots go 9-1 to Barry. Shots on goal 8-1. Corners 1-0 for Greensboro. Interesting. Feels a little uncharacteristic to see that total number be as low as it is right now. Fouls 6-3 with Barry committing to 6. Other team numbers here worth mentioning. No offsides, interestingly enough, called in the first. Very odd kind of start to things here in terms of some of those numbers. We look at the individual numbers now. Aitken has 3 shots on goal. Crozier has 1 shot, did not find the mark. Teresa Rodriguez, 2 shots, both of them on goal, including the current game-winning goal. That was her second of her collegiate career. Knight has 1 shot. It was on goal. Strickland has 1 on goal. Regal has 1 on goal. It was the second that found the back of the net for Barry today. That's her first career goal for Regal. Kate Hill in goal has made 1 save on 1 opportunity after playing the first 45 minutes. For Greensboro, 1 shot on goal. That was courtesy of Cameron Marcondes. And Cheyenne Hansen faced 8 shots in the first half, of which she saved 6 of them. So that's a look at the first half numbers. We'll step aside. When we come back, it'll be second half action. 45 more minutes for Greensboro to try to figure out this Barry team and try to work through these offensive struggles that they've had over, I say the last 2 games, but even a little bit. You remember Coach Johnston said they came out a little flat against Johnson and Wales last Wednesday too. So maybe those struggles extend a little bit past the most recent game and now 1 half here today. But either way, we'll step aside as they finish their halftime meetings, and we'll see what those adjustments look like and if they work in Greensboro's favor. Second half action when we come back on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Every college athlete has a story to tell, and at Greensboro College, we believe no one is better equipped to tell those stories than the athletes themselves. On the Getting to Know podcast, you'll hear the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each college athlete's journey to Greensboro and how they became a member of the Pride. We talk on and off the field, influences, hobbies, goals, and what it means to be a member of the Pride. It's all on the Getting to Know podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
You know, I just really felt like I was a person, and they really cared about you, not only as like an athlete, but, as an individual as well. And so that was one of the things that led me here, honestly.
The Getting to Know podcast from Greensboro College Athletics. We are one Pride, and these are our stories. All right, second half action here at Pride Field. Greensboro trailing 45 to nothing. 45 minutes on the clock. Sorry, it's been a long week. Trailing
Listen, we just need to go home.
It's 2-0 right now. 45 minutes on the clock.
If it was 45-0, I think we. I'm not really sure what would be going on.
For anyone wondering, I'm Stephen Weidenhouse.
I'm Kendrick Fruits.
Oh my goodness.
We're ready for our weekend, which is the next day or two.
You know, that's the worst thing I say this year on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
happy
good.
with that. All right, we're back underway. Greensboro's got a 2-goal deficit they need to try to work their way through. And, Stephen, thoughts on maybe some halftime adjustments for Greensboro?
Yeah, it's tough to say because it's, some of the same type of things we saw against Roanoke as well. And I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised. We haven't played a whole lot better than we did against Roanoke just because, Roanoke really impressed me with their physicality. And they were up 1-0 at the half in that game the other night. And we really haven't – there's not been much change from this game to last game. We had no shots in the first half last game. We've had one today. I think Cheyenne Hansen early on played well, and then there was a couple shots that were, just above her reach that ended up going into the goal. So, really we've got to possess the ball, and we've got to create our own opportunities. Just one corner kick in that first half as well for Greensboro. So, you're going to have to create some opportunities.
Should mention Shea Brennan is out here on the pitch to start the second half. So, after, I guess, receiving some treatment on the sideline in the locker room, number 18 is back out in her usual position.
And you hope that certainly gives a spark. Is that – oh, Petroskas takes a tumble.
Yeah, slipped there. We've seen a couple instances of the turf monster this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
I was talking to Coach Strickland when she came up here the other day. She'd never heard that phrase before.
Well, we love Coach Strickland. She's a character for sure. We need her on the broadcast again. We should have told her to come today.
I guess being a shortstop, even if she played on a turf field, she wouldn't know. She played on the dirt.
She plays on the dirt and the grass. But having Shea back out there hopefully provides a spark, and hopefully she's okay.
Friedlander now slow to get up.
Yeah. Hopefully, she's probably sore, but, hopefully, having Shea out there can provide a spark. And we've seen her, with free kick opportunities, capitalize on some goals. And she obviously, she's been able to take a lot of corner kicks as well. So having her there, if there is an opportunity on a free kick or a corner kick, could be big for Greensboro.
And I think one of the other things is Tag trying to settle it down. She does, but right to a Berry defender. That was Emily Walsh getting, I think, her first playing time today. I don't think we saw her in the first half. But, I think it's a situation where if this thing starts to get out of hand later, I would be surprised if Shea was not the first person taken out.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you get a Berry were to get another goal, I don't know if you play Shea too much longer just to get her off of that ankle.
Yeah.
But clearly it's not bad enough to hold her out the rest of the game. And again, we still have a game, right? Like you saw the other day, Meredith, they only had one shot, but it was a goal, and it made the game 2-1. And that one shot, that one goal, allowed Meredith to believe that they were in the ball game. As Brennan kind of goes down again, she'll get back up and looks like she's okay.
Sometimes after you do a split, it takes you a moment to recover.
Yeah, but, Meredith got that one opportunity. They capitalized and made it a 2-1 game. So if Greensboro could just, get an opportunity and capitalize, they're right back in it.
Sometimes it's about quality of shots and not quantity of shots. As Crozier with it, working to the far side.
Well, an example of that, Kendrick, is what we talked about last night in the Averett and Brevard game. Brevard had 45 shots, I believe it was, and I think it was 27 on goal. They scored once against the Cougars from Averett, and that was a 1-0 game. I believe that was yesterday. So, you're exactly right. It's about the quality of the shot, not necessarily quantity.
I would say, too, even though Averett lost that game, I think their coach owed their goalkeeper dinner after that.
Yeah, I would honestly, I would love to see how close that is to a Division III record. I think she had 25 saves.
Wow.
And I would love to see if that's a record or not, because that was unbelievable to look at those stats from that Brevard Avery game.
Well, down
from
goes
yesterday.
Friedlander, looking for a whistle, does not get it. She got spun around like a top.
You know, one thing, you notice with Barry is they seem really connected. A lot of their passes throughout, all the way down the field, look connected. As that one's taken away, though, from Walsh.
But, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this is a veteran Barry team.
Yeah.
They've played with each other. They know who's going to be where on the pitch. This Greensboro team's still trying to find that out.
Yeah, that's why you're not really worried about Greensboro, right now, because you remember last year, it started out 0-6. Not that they played terrible, but, they were trying to find themselves, and they did, and they ended up winning 11 games. So certainly not anything to worry about, but it'll be fun to watch kind of how this team matures and grows and plays together as the season goes on.
Obviously, you want to come back in this game, but no matter what happens, it's already a better first 6 games than last year.
Sure.
Greensboro 3-1 and 1 coming into today, and there's going to be a foul called on Caroline Creamy from Homewood, Alabama. Rosie Tagg coming up for the free kick to get this one started. Long feed up ahead. It's looking for Friedlander, but it's turned aside. And Shea Brennan trying to push the issue. Brennan a feed over to Petroskis. And that's Dawson over there.
Yep.
Off of Connors. And the other thing too about Brennan, which is great to see her out on the pitch right now, but if she's not 100%, maybe she's not going to be able to get to all the balls and win all the foot races that maybe she would if she was operating at full song. There's a long one in on Hill and a save made.
And
Still
that was
a strong shot, though, for Brennan.
That was Shea Brennan again. If you can have her out there, she can create her own opportunities. And so, it's really important. Just in any kind of game for Brennan to be out there. But again, you just hope she doesn't aggravate that ankle too much.
Shea Brennan at 75% is better than a lot of players at 100%. And that's a generalization. That's not directed at a team or anybody in any particular.
Well, that's what we talked about her, last year. She's just so unique because she's so versatile. Yeah, she plays defensive line, but she plays the entire field. She takes free kicks. She takes corner kicks. She scored 5 goals last year as a defender. So, and she's already got one this year. So, just super important to have out there.
Chance here for Goolsby, feeds it in the middle to Walsh. Walsh overruns it a little bit. Now to Rodriguez. Chipped on ahead, sent back away by Greensboro on a header, though. And we've got a collision and offsides, I believe?
No, it's going to be a foul on Marcondes.
Foul on Marcondes.
She kind of got tangled up. I can't see what the number is for Barry, but they kind of got tangled up.
How interesting or how unique of a feeling you think this is for Walsh to be back here this weekend?
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm sure she's excited about it. And
scored on Friday.
Yeah.
Rodriguez, long shot into Hansen. This one not quite as high as her previous effort, and Hansen able to make the save. Well, Cheyenne has now made 7 saves today, which is a season and career high for her. So any save she makes in the next 35-50 will just add to that total.
Yeah, I thought she's played well today. It's just the 2 goals that were scored were just too high out of her reach. And that's one of the things that'll be interesting when Griffin Horn gets healthy. is, who do you go with in goal? Because Griffin, she's, close to 6 foot tall. And
long feed up ahead. This could be dangerous. Hansen's going to go out and get it. Redirected there on the right side of the box. I can't see a number, but was redirected, and Hansen was able to snag it. Here's another opportunity. Walsh gets around her defender. Walsh sends this one in. Ground ball to Hansen. Almost lost it between the wickets, but she's able to corral it.
Yeah, Greensboro's got to possess the ball here. Barry getting too many open looks.
And you can tell Greensboro's kind of getting a little tired defensively because of how much time they've spent trying to play defense. That one got off of the shin of Marcondes. Could be a chance for Petroskas, rather. Could be a chance for Friedlander. Instead, it's going to be Creamy that sends it back to Hill. Hill boots this one skyward and out of bounds. That first shot, by the way, was Lauren Engelbart.
Another little miscommunication there that goes off of Trinity Robinson. Petroskas tried to pass it to her. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when Griffin Horn gets back, because Griffin is an athletic goalkeeper, but she's, close to 6 foot tall. And some of those high shots she's probably going to be able to get to. So it'll be interesting to see what that goalie battle becomes once she gets healthy.
Walsh with it, trying to work her way up the middle. It's taken away by Greensboro.
Nice pass from Brennan.
Long feed up ahead to Petroskas. Could this turn into something? Oh, she had Friedlander in the middle and misfired on the pass, and it's another turnover.
Yeah, it's just kind of been the story the last couple of games. Just when an opportunity starts to develop, the pass just ends up not being very good, and they turn it back over.
For those wondering about Griffin Horn, I will tell you something that won't tell you much, and that's the fact that I don't have an update on her availability.
Yeah, she did get to see her practice in the preseason, and she's going to be a really good goalie too. So Coach Johnson got a couple of goalies. Carlisle Dozier has played some this year as well as a sophomore, and she's improved as well. So, but just kind of bookending that is Cheyenne's played really well. Just a couple of well-placed goals today for the Vikings.
Dawson trying to chase down Engelbart, who sends it further down and out of bounds. 32:40 to go.
Well, Kendrick, one of the good things is, I guess you could say, is Greensboro has 2 shots, and they didn't have their second shot last game until about a minute to go.
Well, that was their first shot in the last. They didn't. That was
Yeah.
the only shot that they had, and they continued to streak. The last time they played a whole game without a shot was September 19th of 2023, so we don't have to worry about that.
You see Shea Brennan. Again, she's playing all the way up the field here as a defender.
Now trying to chase Engelbart down, who sends it further up ahead now. Walsh trying to race to it, but it's going to be Rosie Tagg. Tagg gets bumped from Walsh and goes out of bounds. It's a battle of the 22s.
Yeah.
What? Since I was not here last year, what number did Amy wear while she was
I
here?
think it was 22.
Okay. Deflected out of bounds in front of the Barry bench.
Trying to throw there from Shea. Marcondes tries to get there, and Barry's going to kick it out of bounds.
31 minutes to go. And it'll be another free kick here. We'll see who it is. I think it's going to be Shea doing it. Couple times so far today when Greensboro has had a free kick, it's almost just been sent directly to a Barry defender. So can they capitalize on this opportunity? A ricochet goes to Robinson out in front, but it's going to be taken away by Rodriguez. Works around Linker. Rodriguez sends it out of bounds. Brennan to throw in quickly. Settled on the far boundary. And another pass off the mark looking for Petroskis. Petroskis grabbed, a physical there. Petroskis was all over Bryan, but Olivia Bryan threw an elbow. Oh, there's going to be a card shown to Petroskis. Did they show Goolsby a card as well, or just Petroskis?
I did not see them give a card to Goolsby, but they should have.
Or Bryan, 3 or 13, either one.
Yeah, she almost threw a punch there.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand how the official, if she didn't get a card, I don't know how the official didn't see that.
See, my thought there, I think there should have been a foul on Petroskis, but I think the card should have gone the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
If
I will not deny the foul.
Yeah, if Goolsby didn't get that card, they carded the wrong. They carded something that Greensboro needs is kind of a jolt of energy and aggression here. I mean, obviously controlled aggression, but something to kind of fire them up a little bit.
Uncharacteristic Brennan turnover, and
Walsh got run over.
Yeah, Walsh just ran into, I think it was Mackenzie Taylor.
Getting physical here.
It is,
and I think some of that is frustration on Greensboro's part. Just things not going their way right now. But
you saw Taylor kind of wave off the official there, too.
Well, it's hard to blame. It's frustrating being down 2, especially after that Roanoke loss the other night. This team expects to win. This isn't a team that is it is young, but they still expect to win. So, when things aren't going your way, it gets frustrating.
Here's Rodriguez, who, of course, we know has got that dangerous high shot. She tries it again and scores. Oh, my goodness.
She's unbelievable.
Teresa Rodriguez on a free kick scores her second of the game, and it's 3-0 Vikings.
See if our replay captured this one. Rodriguez actually just a little bit out of frame, but you can see the ball go right over Cheyenne's hands there. And that's the thing, that Barry clearly has capitalized on is, unfortunately, Hanson is a shorter goalie, and they have placed it as perfectly as you can on some of these shots. And Rodriguez with 2 goals today. Again, I know we talked about it earlier. She was my player to watch today after watching her against Meredith, and she is a heck of a player.
And the tough thing about it, this is fed on up ahead to Goolsby. Tag gets in the way of it. Hanson will scoop it up. The tough thing about it, it's hard to fault Hanson on the first or the third goal simply because
I know.
If you're not tall enough, you're not tall enough. You can't help that.
No, for sure. And that's I hope that Cheyenne understands that. Obviously, she's still going to be frustrated because there's another
feed
shot.
up, and you got to think Barry's also saying, "Hey, shoot it high."
Yeah, for sure. That's the game plan, right? I mean, that's absolutely the game plan, and they have executed it to perfection today.
I do have a note. They did show a yellow card both sides, so Goolsby did get a yellow as well.
Cool. But, yeah, no, that's the game plan. That's very smart coaching, and the players are executing for sure. But, going back to Cheyenne, hopefully she doesn't get too frustrated. I mean, those are just very impressive goals, especially the 2 by Rodriguez on the free kick there, and the one in the first half. But, that's great soccer.
Yeah, she can't do anything about it. Yeah.
You got to tip your hat.
Substitution here. Checking out is Olivia Bryan. And I think that's Adelie Christensen coming in for Barry. Rodriguez almost a turnover to Engelbart, trying to work her way around Shea Brennan. She does. Engelbart tries to fire this in. It's going to go out of bounds. I don't know if Greensboro got a hand on it, but Brennan looks to be in some discomfort again.
It's going to be a corner for Barry, and yeah, Shea is shaken up, but she's going to tough it out. I'll tell you what, she is really tough. Great for her, trying to tough this out. But be honest with you, I would. You
got to go get her.
I would rather just take her out and not risk any other injury. But it's going to be a corner for Barry, and again, you got to watch for Rodriguez. She's 6'2". Could she get the hat trick here on this corner?
Service into the box, a low liner headed away by Greensboro. Good defense. Barry maintains possession, though. Marcondes. Brennan quickly sends it away on one touch. And controlled again by Barry in the middle third. Taken away again by Greensboro. Long, clear, back the other way. Hill's going to take it herself. Looks like Greensboro's got a substitution pending. Chloe Benoit is checked in for Barry. Marcondes a feed up ahead to Friedlander. Friedlander not able to settle it down for a moment. Now loses it. Gets it back. Chips this one in. Left side of the box and cleared away by Barry again to Petroskis. Sent back out to Robinson. Headed to Dawson. Dawson trying to work around a defender. Dawson tripped up. Here comes Marcondes. She's slightly tripped up. Friedlander shot a one-hopper that Hill falls on. Greensboro, probably their most sustained offensive look there in quite some time.
Yeah, I think only thing I could say there is, got to get the spacing a little better. Had 3 players there all, kind of in the same spot. But Friedlander got a look, but couldn't put it in the net.
Benoit sends that up. Looking for Rodriguez. Tipped aside by Greensboro. Goes out of bounds. Subs pending on both sides. And being waved in now. This is not going to be for Shea Brennan. This is Petroskis coming out. It's Lush coming in. Thrown into Walsh. Walsh trying to work on tag at the near left flag. Walsh cutting back into the top of the box. Rodriguez working on the left side, left leg, rebound, and score.
What a pass.
Fed from the left side of the box to the right side of the box. And it is 4-0 Barry. I didn't see did you see a number on that?
I didn't get the score. That was definitely Rodriguez.
Absolutely
on
Rodriguez
the
there, yeah. 4-0 Vikings.
Tough to see at our angle on far side plays, but Rodriguez with it, unbelievable cross.
And I
into
mean,
the box.
what do you do there? Obviously, it was Ide Strickland, by the way. Strickland picking up the goal, but you have to respect Rodriguez, so you can't sell out for the pass necessarily. Rodriguez having herself a whale of a day, 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah, she is showing off today.
Collision there between Lush and Benoit.
I think, too, you're just also seeing experience versus youth in these last couple games for Greensboro.
Giselle Aiken, there's a high shot.
And another goal.
And another goal over the head of Hansen.
Yep. Another high one.
Yep. And I think as the coach, you eventually realize, which I'm sure Coach Johnson has realized, there's nothing that she can do about those.
Yeah. But you have to give so much credit to Barry. They're executing flawlessly.
Absolutely. So Aiken, I believe, on the goal there. We're waiting on to come in officially on the score, but I believe that was Aiken. I don't know. As down goes Marcondes, she gets up. Here comes Barry the other way. We've been talking about it, Stephen, but obviously not trying to harp on the fact that just a lot of these have been high shots, but at what point do you say, hey, maybe just to kind of preserve her confidence a little bit, maybe you make a switch?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to consider that. Obviously, Coach knows her more than we do, but
because obviously it would be the conversation where you say, hey, a lot of those weren't really your fault today.
Nah, for sure. And heck of a shot, on that last one. But Barry has really shown their talent today. As the corner is going to come for Greensboro, so might have an opportunity here.
Brennan's service headed once, coming back out towards us. Taken by Lush. Lush keeps it from going out. Well, she did at first, but it does go out of bounds. Now we have substitutions coming. Walsh checking out. So is Crozier. Greensboro's substitution is Emma Carroll in for Trinity Robinson. And also checking out is Giselle Aiken for Barry, as they have a 5-0 lead here with 22:10 to play. Carroll sends that one out of bounds. And a goalkeeper change the other way. Barry is going to go, I believe, with 00 Riley Wilson. We saw Wilson play for a couple of minutes on Friday. Or no, is that going to be number one? Number one.
Yep,
That's
going
to be, Lily Osterkamp, the senior from Florence, Kentucky. In net now for Barry. A little frustration from a player for overrunning the ball. I don't know if you heard that. We apologize if you did, but oh. Coming up ahead is Lush now with it. Off the turnover from Mia McDougal. Long feed up ahead to Friedlander. Friedlander tries to get to it. It's poked out of bounds by Creamy. Another Barry substitution pending. Greensboro throws it in. Friedlander trying to work through a Barry sandwich. And this one kept in by Lush. Lush to Friedlander, still trying to work the boundary, looking for help. It's Carroll. Carroll sends this on goal and saved there by Osterkamp. So Greensboro with their third shot now. Headed towards Carroll. There's going to be Christensen, though, that got to it. Down goes Carroll to Brennan. Brennan's pass just kind of popped up in the air. Strickland with it now. Foot race far side. This one crossing the box, and it's going to go wide. Out of harm's way. Kept in by Barry, however. And no, it's going to go out of bounds. It was a late whistle, and we continue on with Greensboro throwing in. And headed off of Carroll, back out of bounds. So another turnover for Greensboro near their own net. Christensen with it. Down goes Carroll for the second time in a matter of moments. Settling it down here is Regal. Regal passing out to the side. Back to Regal now in the middle. Friedlander trying to sneak around her. Carroll again passes to the right. Fed on up ahead to Reese. Reese sends it high. That time Hansen able to get a hand on it. Makes the catch. Yeah, Cheyenne Hansen has made 11 saves today.
Yeah, no, she's played well. I know the score doesn't. If you just look at the score, it may not look like that. But, well, I mean, again, Barry has taken some incredible shots today, and just placed perfectly right at the top, right underneath the crossbar, where Hansen couldn't get it.
Looks like Allison Mann, and is that Audrey Edwards about to check in as well?
If I had binocular, yes, yeah, yes. Now I can see that. If I had binoculars, I could see a little better, but you would think I could see with glasses, but
I can't say anything. I'm the same way. Nice move there by Carroll. That's sent into the box. Oh, the redirect by Lush passed just a little bit too far out of her reach. Greensboro missed a golden opportunity.
Yeah, best opportunity so far. Lush just
the pass just too far in front of her.
Can't see she was in the wrong position or anything. Just a hair in front of her. Made a great effort, but great idea there from Dawson. And Dawson, again, she's had multiple assists this year. She's a great passer, so great cross, just missed it.
Linker and Brennan out. You got to think they're done for the day. Good move there from Lush to Friedlander. Back to Lush. Lush trying to work her way in on net. It's going to be taken away. Abby Lush showing some skill around the goal here the last couple of moments. Audrey Edwards passing it up the far boundary to Dawson. I think that might have gone out of bounds, though. Or free kick, in fact, is what it's going to end up being here. Missed the foul. 16:45 to go. Sent on up ahead. Where Rosie Tag will get to it. To Marcondes, to Friedlander. And a turnover. Stephen, they say that you can learn more from your team or more about your team from a loss than you can from a win, and obviously arguably the most important non-conference game of the year coming up, as that's a handball from Carroll. So what'd you learn this weekend?
Well, I learned that Greensboro still got some things to work on. As that might be an obvious statement, but I also just, you can't give up on them, and the team certainly can't give up on themselves because they have a lot of talent. It's just got to, they've got to connect, I guess is the best way to put it.
High shot there to Hanson, but it dies right into the waiting arms of Cheyenne.
And I think, too, as a coaching staff, you got to keep looking for the right combination. I think you've seen some flashes of some good play from multiple players. So how do you get the right combo? But I think ultimately it's going to be, what is the attitude? How do you respond to this game and the Roanoke game as well? Because look, at the end of the day, the last two games, and this game isn't over yet, you're being outscored 8-0.
Yep.
And so how do you respond to that? And don't get me wrong, they're good teams, so you can't necessarily, say that, they played, bad teams and still lost. That would be an entirely different story. But I think you just got to see how they respond. I think the leaders on the team have to rally the troops, and they also just have to realize that there's still a long way to go with Guilford coming up and then conference play coming up soon as well.
Yeah, Guilford, and then one more non-conference game before conference play begins. And you look at what Barry has done this year and who they have done it against, and I think you realize, this is a very talented team, and this is a very veteran team, as they have another offensive opportunity here. Pass towards the front of the box, overrun the
offsides.
Offsides, but she missed her target anyways, because was going to pass behind her.
And there has been a goalie change. Carlisle Dozier now in for Greensboro, so we'll see.
That must have just happened.
It did.
Okay.
It did. Just a minute ago. Just a minute ago. So Dozier in the game. She got some playing time the other game against Averett. She's been in a couple games this year, so got another sub. Looks like Shortle.
Yep, Lila Shortle coming in for Cole. Greensboro is not waving the white flag, but certainly with mostly full roster changes coming up.
Yeah, still got Marcondes is out there, Dawson's out there, so got some starters and Tag, so got 3 starters still in the game.
Tag sends that high in the air. Headed towards the middle. Shortle. Pop that pass up. Shielded away by Barry. They maintain possession at the center line. 13:15 to go. Edwards heads that one out of bounds. Yeah, well, we got some exciting stuff coming up on the Greensboro College Sports Network. A soccer doubleheader on Wednesday. Men against Columbia, South Carolina at 4:30. The women, of course, against Guilford at 7. I'll be on the call for those. And then inside, volleyball looking to snap a 2-game skid and play their second conference game of the year against Methodist. Zach Burhans will be on the call for that one. It feels like it's been a long time since volleyball's been here at home.
It has. They played the opening week tri-match, and they haven't been home since. So good to have them back. 5-2 start to the year. Played a tough 5-set match yesterday against Lynchburg, a really good team. They're 10-1, I think, on the year.
I think so.
After the win against Greensboro yesterday. So be fun to have them back at home, too.
Low shot to Dozier. She'll scoop it up on a hop. That was the 19th shot on goal for the Vikings. And then after that, got some more exciting stuff coming up down the pipeline. On Saturday, football is going to go to Davidson, take on the Wildcats, and we're going to be providing a radio call.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
One.
Join us for that Saturday night, 7 o'clock. All of our other games that day will be over, so join us on that broadcast. Cool opportunity for Greensboro football to play an FCS opponent. It'll be on the road at Davidson, so not too bad of a drive either. So, if you can't make it out to Davidson, join us on our radio call.
Feed up ahead to Lush. Contact with the goalkeeper. Lush trying to get to it and settle it, but the goalkeeper, Osterkamp, comes down with the ball or comes up with it.
Yeah, the kind of ball found her, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this week will be fun. And
interesting, you mentioned you were talking about Davidson. Well, I guess I brought it up first, but Davidson played the school my dad attended, Tennessee Tech, yesterday, which resulted in a 72-13 Tennessee Tech win.
Yeah, been a tough start for Davidson football. They've started 0-3, so they played Greensboro College on Saturday, looking for their first win. Obviously, Greensboro coming off a tough loss yesterday to Roanoke, but so it should be a fun one. We're going to be there and get to experience a cool environment. Tailgate a little bit, and then head up to the press box and watch some football.
Arguably, Greensboro found their running back for the rest of the year yesterday, and the day that Westmoreland had 173 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns. Still searching for some stabilization at the quarterback position, though.
Yeah, that's the main thing right now for Greensboro. Their defense has played pretty well. And they had some short field yesterday, gave up some points, because of those turnovers. But defenses looked pretty solid. The running game looked great yesterday. If you can get a little bit more, consistency on the quarterback position, Greensboro should have a pretty fun year on the gridiron.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen back-to-back possessions with blocked extra points returned for 2-point conversions?
That was the first one. And that was crazy.
Sanzada in for Taylor, by the way.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was certainly a fun, entertaining game.
Sure.
Yesterday here at Pryfield, and had a great crowd too. So October 11th is the next home football game, and
conference opener.
Yeah, conference opener. So be sure to join us that day. We've got volleyball that day too. So
I think the other exciting thing about yesterday, even though obviously the game didn't go the way you wanted it to, it was a game they were in, and I think that's a big thing, is the fact that they're still playing competitive ball.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to be competitive this year. It's just a matter of can they have good second halves, and that was kind of the story last year. Then yesterday they started off slow in the second half, and that's where Roanoke took advantage, and then Greensboro kind of turned it up late in the fourth, but too little, too late.
Well, the Pride about to drop to 1-6 this weekend across all sports.
Yeah, difference of 2 weekends.
Yeah,
for
I know.
Sure,
I don't think they lost last weekend.
No, they didn't.
Men's soccer yesterday, the only real bright spot this weekend in terms of results. And obviously, again, we talk about, you have to take your level of competition into consideration, but we still have to give credit to Kale Hermanson and who was the other, Sergio Garcia Barrios?
Mm-hmm.
Both had hat tricks yesterday against Mid-Atlantic Christian.
Yeah, good confidence builder there for the men's side. And, again, like you said earlier, they'll be back at home on Wednesday at 4:30.
Already safe to say, as this one sent in across the box, redirected and sent out towards the far boundary. Barry keeps it sent to the front of the box and knocked down by Carroll. Carroll's going to get called for a foul.
I think that was in the box, too. Free kick.
Yep.
Let's see where this might be actually outside, just outside the box.
Maybe by inches, yeah.
Yeah, good. At least it was outside the box. Inside the box would have been a different story because you get the kind of the free net.
One-on-one, yeah.
So got a wall at least you can build here. Let's see what happens.
This is Adelie Christensen. High, off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar.
And more Greensboro substitutions coming here. Marcondes comes out. I see Brooke Shaw coming in. Jenna Elliott back in as well. Who's the third one? I missed one.
I am trying.
Oh, McElwain checked in on the far side. 7:40 to go. Elliott sends it back to Shaw. Edwards to man. Long feed up ahead to Lush. Lush trying to wait on it. Can't settle it. Turns it over. And it's making its way towards the Greensboro bench, but kept in bounds by the Vikings. Fed on up the middle. Nice move there. It's going to be a foot race. Good job by Tag on Gianna Maimone. Maimone throws it in, and Tag again sends it out of bounds. Or rather, it was Shortle sends it out of bounds. Greensboro fighting for it on the inline, now sent in towards the box.
Open
opportunity,
look.
Yep.
But a save. Nice
Good
job by Carlisle.
Dozier made the initial save and then went out to cover up the rebound on the shot from Christensen.
Christensen with two close calls now, one on the free kick and then one on that one, trying to get herself into the score column.
Greensboro goalkeepers have made 13 saves today.
Yeah, 20 shots overall for Barry. So,
and I think still safe to say after 6 games, it's been a strength of this team. Lush trying to turn the corner, having a hard time doing so, turns it over instead. Sent on up ahead to Shortle, heads it towards Elliott. Pass into Carroll. Carroll's overrun it, back to Elliott, back to Shortle. Shortle long feed into the box, missed header by Barry, and coming up the other way are the Vikings to Man. Man takes it away. Up ahead to Carroll.
Shot.
Carroll kind of towed that one straight to Osterkamp.
Yeah, one of the things Greensboro, they'll get better with it, but not a lot of clean looks the last 2 days or 2 games. Unfortunately, just
not creating separation.
Yeah, not creating our shots, but we'll get there.
5 minutes to go on what has turned into a quiet Pride Field. The only thing you really hear, both teams still cheering their teammates on.
Yeah.
Garrity with a couple of headers there, trying to get it over to Lush. Lush can't run it down. Well, I say she couldn't initially. She ended up doing so. Greensboro maintains possession. Shortle to Lush. Now back to Edwards. Long feed up ahead, and Osterkamp will come up and get it.
I've seen a lot of those too. Just kind of trying to get it upfield, but just nobody home, and kind of making it an easy turnover for Barry.
Shaw heads it. This is Forkeran. Now Allison Mann with it under 4 minutes to go. Her pass intended for Garrity, turned aside by Reese. Now it's a foot race towards the boundary.
Good effort there by Edwards, though. About 3:40 to play here. Let's see if this also says something about a team. Look, you're down 5-0. The game's almost over. Who gives that still 100% max effort still, even though the game's out of reach? That says a lot about the character of the team.
Well, it goes back to something that Bobby and I were talking about too the other day, late in the stages of that Roanoke game. You've got players on the field right now who are still playing for some expanded roles later on in the year. So you still have something to play for to try to increase your playing time going forward.
Shot blocked there by Edwards.
I think that's one of the things you love about these Greensboro defensemen, not afraid to put their body on the line to make to block a shot out in front.
Another block shot.
But yeah, you're still playing for your roles come late October here. So long
shot
to Dozier over her for a goal.
That was 24, I believe.
A long-range goal for Mia Reese. And it is 6-0.
Mia Reese from long range. That was from about the 24-yard line. They've had some long goals today. Tell you what, that clearly was the game plan today, and they executed it to perfection.
2:44 to go. Well, you said the other day, or I actually said early in the game, where you kind of felt like the Roanoke game was one you just kind of flush away. What do you do with this one? Or do you just flush the weekend?
You may just have to flush the weekend. No, I think there's still learning opportunities. You got to look at film and.
Shortle, long feet up ahead to Lush. Hate to cut you off, but this could turn into something interesting.
Doesn't have much help though. Here comes Elliott and Garrity.
Lush trying to work right-hand side, gets past one defender, a little pass inside to Garrity. It's going to be cleared out, though. It goes to Sanzada. Sanzada's pass blocked, and again taken by Barry.
Yeah, there's still learning opportunities from both games. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, Kendrick. This game, I think, is a little more frustrating. I think if you're on the coaching staff and the players, just because I just think Lynchburg was a really good team, and Barry is as well, but I don't think the physicality was quite there from Barry that it was with Lynchburg. But Barry did a heck of a job with executing, the game plan, especially when it comes to, where they place their shots. And I think that's something that, I don't know if you can quite, until Griffin Horn gets back, I'm not sure how much you can fix that outside of, hey, look, we've got to put more pressure on the ball. Even when the ball is, 20, 25 yards out, we have to put more pressure on the ball to not allow those shots to, be open shots. So other teams are going to look at this film and say, hey, look, we're going to try to do what Barry did. We're going to try to shoot at the top of the net and make them stop those high shots. And so Greensboro has to put, I think, more pressure, 20, 30 yards out. And they can't allow those long shots because, as you've seen, Barry has executed flawlessly, and other teams are going to try to do the exact same thing. So I think that's certainly something you can learn from this game that you can carry into Guilford. Because look, Guilford's going to have players that can do what Barry has done. They've got a lot of good players, on the Quaker roster, and they're going to look at this film and say, hey, let's try to do what Barry did. And Greensboro has to adjust defensively. But even, their midfielders too, like they've got to help with that, that 20, 30-yard out shot. They've got to put more pressure on those shooters if they don't want to have happen Wednesday what they had happen today.
Well, the final 2 seconds will bleed off, and Barry completes a 6-0 victory over Greensboro here today. The Pride dropped to 3-2-1. Goal scorers today, Teresa Rodriguez with 2. Aiken, Reese Strickland, Regal, all with 1 each. Greensboro's leading shooters today, Friedlander, Brennan, Marcondes, and Carroll, all with a shot on goal. Hansen made 11 saves in 16 tries. Dozier made 2 saves in 3 tries. Stephen, I feel like we've kind of spent the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game really handling a lot of the post-game analysis portion of it, so no need in beating a dead horse here, but just kind of sum this one up, this weekend up.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just going to be, hey, how do you respond to this? You're not going to be happy about it, which you shouldn't be happy about it. But you also got to learn from it and go back on the film and see what you can do better. Hopefully for Cheyenne Hansen, we got to kind of get her confidence boosted back up a little bit, and we'll come back on Wednesday because that's a big game. We have 2 Guilford transfers on our team, so this game on Wednesday is going to be big and important for the school and for this team in particular. So you've got to learn, you got to flush it and move on to Wednesday. So as much as it stinks to lose and lose in the fashion that you did, ultimately you just got to learn from it and you have to move on and forget it. So a lot of learning lessons and it's still a young team. They'll come into their own. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, honestly, not a ton for me to add to that. So with that, we'll just say Greensboro College back in action on Wednesday, 4:30 for men's soccer, 7 o'clock for women's soccer, and also 7 o'clock for volleyball. You can check out all those on the Greensboro College Sports Network. Pregame shows beginning about 15 minutes before each event. A big thank you to all of our game day staff as usual, and our producer and analyst today, Stephen Whitenhouse. I'm Kendrick Fruits, wishing you a green and white